always up on time, down on my luck. Got a brand new payment on an old, worn out truck. Papa told me back when I was 9, someday this farm, it'll be all mine. Now I walk these woods with kids of my own. It's been 12 years since Daddy done passed on.
And we're back to the Home of the Average Joe podcast. And as you can tell, there may or may not be a little delay because old T-Bone is checking in for us. So he will be monitoring comments. We got John monitoring comments, but John had his audio shut off before we did it. So we'll give John a kudos for that.
It's whatever.
We got the whole Motley crew back and we are ready to rock. The only one that has not said anything yet is old Helen.
What do I gotta say? This is your show. We're just here.
Say happy 4th. Hope everybody had a fun, enjoyable, safe 4th.
I hope you have all your digits.
Yeah, I mean, blowing some things up. You might want all your digits. Yeah, America turned 250. America.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
So we set the Guinness Book of World Records for most fireworks.
What?
No.
Yeah. I think they did it in Washington because, what country? Some other country had the record and they did it last night. It was incredible.
No, we were just watching them over yonder.
You guys missed out.
We did. Hey, but we did do a post and we asked you guys, said it was your mic, said it was about you. And a lot of people had said stand locations, mineral, juju. Well, T-Bone has got the Build-A-Bone on his chest.
Okay, Tarzan.
Hey, and speaking of Tarzan, I know Tarzan did not.
I'm gonna pivot from that.
Well, no, because last week he wasn't here when I didn't catch the fact that when he said bolts, he was actually talking about his arrows because of how short his arms were until you guys said it. And then I was like,
how short my draw is.
Yeah. Well, your arrows are short because of how short you are in general.
Correct.
Yeah. That tends to happen.
I'm still trying to figure out how this. Yeah, I'll say, what does this have to do with Tarzan?
I don't know. I mean, like you're in the woods. You're swinging from trees, doing different things. It just made me think
He's
about.
Not a saddle
Did
hunter.
we just go around the block through the neighbor's yard to get back to the house with that one, or what?
We did.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's all right.
Yeah.
So we got old Tennessee Johnny to the left.
I love it. I'm glad I started all that.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too.
You're never going to live it down.
You're from Tennessee?
No, not at all.
He's a volunteer. So
Yeah, he no
not
longer
even
is an
close.
Ohio State fan. He's a Tennessee fan.
Yeah, not even close. That's fine though. That's fine. That's fine. There's a lot of season left.
That's fine. It's
Go
all
Tigers.
good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So honestly, I guess let's do this. So we'll wait for a couple people to jump on. So we'll start with mineral because right now you're getting to the time of year. I mean, probably.
Vincent just texted me. He said, Tennessee Johnny's keeping my seat warm.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's my boy.
So we'll start with the Build-A-Bone sites because if you've been watching Build-A-Bone's Facebook page, Instagram page, whatever, they've showed a lot of different bucks hitting mineral and hitting different sites, but they've also showed a lot of fawns and just deer herds in general. So like with how hot it is, let's talk about mineral sites. Where should mineral sites be?
Near water.
You didn't even let me finish. Especially in the heat of summer. Because what are they not going to do when it's this hot?
The same thing we're not gonna do. It's too hot out there. Stay on the inside.
Well, yeah. So they're gonna stay close to their bedding. T-Bone's like, I didn't stay on the inside. I was on the outside, striping it.
It's hot.
Yeah, it was definitely hot. But no. So seriously, finding the nearest water source, but also finding a pocket that's kind of close or pivoting to and from that bedding is going to be key because they need water, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're using mineral in general, I mean, it needs to be close to kind of water. I mean, it doesn't have to be on top of it, but you want water around.
Water. They need their nutrients. They need those things. So in order to make sure that all that happens, you try to kind of pivot that, which, I mean, again, I think we've seen really from the difference of where we placed probably that first mineral site to where we placed kind of the last two in a little bit more secluded pocket range. And then the one that good old Stan sent in, you see him pouring out the mineral, and then he had a group of bachelor bucks hitting it. Now that was in a pocket kind of off the beaten path. I think really a lot of it comes down to, I mean, like look at sailors, right? Like where is it tucked against?
Yeah, I mean, it's all secluded areas.
Right. So, I mean, like tucked into the shade, tucked out of the heat and that type of stuff. So it's definitely important for placement, especially because in order to get through this heat, they got to have those nutrients. They got to have, mama deer got to have their thing going on for them as well. So they got to have to be able to produce for the fawns. The fawns got to have it. So I think it's pretty key. But what is the other thing that the old wacko taught us about mineral sites? What do you not want to do over them?
Pee in them.
Yeah, I don't think I think that.
I mean, you didn't. I mean, I'm just saying, you don't want to do that.
You could, but
It might be frowned upon. Yeah. Okay, so take it one step further. What else do you think it is?
I don't like this pop quiz. Just tell us.
No, it's more fun. Come on, the interaction. Let's go. Chime in.
Ask Tennessee.
Tennessee Johnny.
You don't want to hunt over them.
Right. You want them to feel safe. You want them, because the ability to get more daylight pictures of these bucks and even just your herd in general, you need to give them the seclusion and the safety, which is the other aspect of why, like, finding that niche point of getting them from water to bed and somewhere in between and kind of finding a mineral spot for them there is key, because if you don't do that, the odds of getting pictures and or catching them in daylight are slim to none.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I take that not only mineral. I mean, if there's ever corn that I throw or something, I don't like hunting right on top of it either. Me personally.
Sure.
I'd rather throw it down like 50, 75 yards away or whatever and hunt where they're coming to that or leaving.
Yeah.
Just so, because you never know if they're in there on mineral or whatever, and you go walking in and bust them out. You know what I mean? So,
well, so I think that plays into, so these guys talked about stand locations, blind locations, etc. Right? But when I think all those locations start with where you set up mineral and food, right? I mean,
or where they're going.
Well,
I think it's more.
I think
where
it's
they're
all
shattering it.
To me, the first thing, obviously, yeah, like you need to know where they're at, where they're going. But like, to me, the first step in anything with the stand is your access. How can you access it? Can you access it without busting the deer out? Because you know roughly where they are, where they're coming from, and everything like that. Like if you can't access your stand, it doesn't matter how good of a spot it is. If you can't access it without busting every deer out of there, then you've lost it before you even get in there.
JDT, what is happening? We will pause for that because Jacob wants to know if Tony's on a phone book.
No, dude, the seat goes up and down.
But you struggle with it going down to start it.
It just starts going down out of nowhere.
No, okay.
Thanks for my bolts, buddy. I haven't got them yet, but I like them.
But with that being said, so I'll go back to what you said, but you're talking about those placements of stand access, but stand access, you're going to think about when you're placing, like, especially not so much mineral, because you're not going to hunt over mineral, but when it comes time to be able to put out corn or put out whatever, there's people that put out apples. I mean, whatever you're putting out, any type of bait. Okay, let's just go that way because we're in a baiting state. Jacob.
You're damn right he does.
Oh, shoot. Jacob goes, he goes down. So,
Anybody wants
Yeah.
to
But anyways,
but anyway, No, I think that like that all plays in, because if you're doing what he said, where you're not necessarily putting the bait in shooting range per se of your stand location, and you're putting it, 75 yards, 100 yards down the way, you got to make sure that you have the ability to access all that without bumping them as well.
And
So
you gotta pay attention to your wind too, what that's usually doing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
yeah, well, I mean, Jacob
But-
knows a thing or two about setting up some properties, right? I
Right.
mean,
So, question for the new kids. Hi, it's me. Say you don't have a good place to put a stand, but you want to make a good place to make a stand, right? You're going to have to clear some stuff and trim some trees. When do you do that so they don't all of a sudden come by and be like, "Whoa, what happened over here?" Do they
so
not
if you
care?
find say if you find a spot and you think there's good deer sign, is that what you're kind of saying? And
Yeah,
put a
like you
stand
see,
there.
like, oh, they're the trail, they're
right.
going this way, but
So-
that tree.
So typically, like me, everybody's different. If I want to hunt it, I may just hunt the ground. They know I like doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if I want to get in the tree, then I'll get my climber, climb the tree, and see where I want some shooting lanes, and just trim like shooting lanes from 20 foot up or whatever. Just little lanes. You're not clearing a lot of stuff because you don't want to tip off a deer, like you said.
Yeah.
So you just trim little alleys. I mean, you'll have one here. I don't know, do like 3 or 4.
You want to do that obviously before.
I mean, you do, but there's been times where, we've all done it. We've moved a stand mid-season or during the season, and it's like, here, we need to hit this, hit that, or whatever, and rock it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
So
I think you also want to do it right before a rain too. Like if
yeah,
you can.
you can. I mean,
So it tries
Push
to
down the
wash
scent.
and yeah.
but then talking like, say, like the average Joe, you don't have a lot of time. Get it done while, like, I can relate to that. And when I go hunt Brown County, I'm not out there a lot. It's a decent drive, not out there a lot in it. But when I do get out there, if I find something, it's like, all right, I may hunt a spot. And then once I'm up there, I mean, you're up there for a little while.
yeah.
You can see things. And a lot of times I will get down, like early season, and start lopping some stuff off when I'm, done for the day.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It's
So-
depending on what time you have and everything like that.
So
But ideally, yeah, I mean, if it's going to, before the season's better, the earlier the better, or right after the season, if it's going to rain or whatever. But if things don't line up, I don't know. I go ahead, I knock it out because I know I'm not going to be back in that spot for, a week, 2 weeks, whatever. And
The most amount of time you can give them to get used to it, the better.
correct.
Right. But you also, there's a fine balance between doing it too early and allowing everything to kind of grow back, and then it's all for nothing too.
Well, I think the biggest thing is when it comes down to what you said is most everybody that's listening to this podcast has a job, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're not doing that for a living. So you got to take advantage of the time. So when Old Tennessee, Johnny and I went out and we set up a stand, we took the time to trim for the stand, but we didn't trim the shooting lanes yet because we wanted them to get used to seeing the stand, but not necessarily the gaps that we're going to set up. Now, did we set the stand up in a way that we kind of have an idea of where we want the general direction? I mean, like he went and kind of did that full, and I'm going to call it a 180, where he walked in front and like we picked, okay, if the deer walks here, are we going to have something to be able to trim there? If the deer walks here, can we trim a little hole there? And I mean, I think that that's really the reality is having a game plan. But sometimes when you may go in, what was that one stand we decided to move just randomly, like out at
The big farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of times too I think a lot of people get like, and I blame a lot of the hunting shows for it. They think like, oh, I hang this stand, I have to trimming lanes. Like I have to put some shooting lanes. A lot of times, like for instance, where we hung my stand out, right? Like I can go in and hunt that stand right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you may
providing
have-
it was deer season.
Yeah,
right,
you may
and
have
everything.
a spot or two spots currently there that you can shoot.
Yeah. So like I think a lot of times too is like when you put up a stand, sometimes, you could potentially not have to trim anything.
Oh,
know what I mean?
correct.
And like
yeah.
And I think a lot of people, how they get busted and stuff is because they trim too much. I know that was my big thing, was I wanted to be able to shoot anytime, anywhere, right? Like that was my biggest thing. But then it was like, all right, well, you're getting busted. Well, it's because that branch that you cut was really the only thing that was breaking you up from the deer that's coming in that way.
Yeah. And that's something with stands too. If you're putting those up, you want to try to pick a tree or whatever where you have some type of foliage behind you at least. So it's kind of breaking you up and you're not this big blob sitting in a tree, or if depending where you are, if they look up, this big blob in the sky, you know what I mean?
That was my next question. Would you rather have a stand on a field edge with open, or would you rather have a stand in the timber?
A seatbelt stand. Seatbelt stand.
It depends what type, what the season is and what's in the field. Like our big farm we hunt, if they're standing corn in that back field, I like that back corner in the seatbelt stand, you know, because it's high corn and deer come busting out of that in the corner all the time.
I mean, I think it also has to do with like what kind of hunting you're doing, right? Like if you're bow hunting, right? Like you would rather be in the woods, tight quarters, close, you know, interaction. But like if it's gun season, you got a rifle and you can reach out and touch them 200 yards away. I'd rather sit on a big open field where, especially one that's been like cut recently. I mean, I think it's all just a matter of like where the deer are.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know me, I love being in the timber.
Jacob goes, you want to be an absolute ghost at all caps, all times.
100%.
I think it comes in your confidence too, right? Because the first time that I went bow hunting, well, one of the first few, I hit a branch, which was super fun.
It's going to happen. It happens to everybody.
So I guess I'd rather have like an open-ish type feel, like on that field edge, because like I'm enclosed a little bit, but like my field of view doesn't have as many obstacles because I'm an amateur. But if you're more experienced, you may feel more comfortable in the woods.
Well, I think that's like what you said, though. You're setting, so depending on what you're setting up for, right? So depending on the level of comfort is what you set up for. So maybe you set up for, you know, somebody that likes to shoot through obstacles. You're set up a little deeper. You're set up a little deeper into that timber, right? But for somebody that doesn't have the comfortableness or whatever, you still maybe get them 5 or 10 yards offset, but instead of being 20 yards or 30 yards into the timber with a 45-yard shot, you're setting them 10 yards into the timber with a 20-yard shot because it's more comfortable. So I think it really just comes down to your comfortability. That's all right.
So, yeah. So and then I want to touch on this a little bit because it happened for me this year. So then you start getting, say, into the timber a little more and tighter shots or whatever, which happened to me this year, shooting a deer, you know, with an overhanging branch like right above it and stuff. Then you start doing that and it's like, well, shoot. All right, if I'm starting to grasp the concept of knowing how to gauge, say, the arrow flight and dodging obstacles and stuff, it's like, all right, now you don't need that big of a lane to shoot and everything. So it starts getting crazy. So like you said, the more experience you get, then you get to see what all you can do. Yeah. It's pretty wild.
What I'll do, and this is where I do like the fixed pin perspective a little bit. Like I shoot like it's a 3-pin, but it's a floating 3.
Yeah.
And didn't you go to, hold on, let him finish, but yes.
So like what I'll do, like when I'm ranging out and if I'm like, okay, that spot's 40 yards, right? Then I take my bow and I hold it up and I put my 40-yard pin where ideally the deer would be at that 40-yard where I ranged. And then I see, okay, where's my 20-yard pin at? And then I look and I see, is there any brush or any limbs where that 20-yard is? And if it's a yes, then I want to range that and see, like, is that at 20 yards? And if it is, then I know I'm going to hit that branch.
Right. That's like Waddy's talked about that. And I remember him talk about that. And that helped me, you know, this year. It's like, dude, I'm good. Like my pin's right below there. I'm good. And I let it rip and I was good. That branch is no longer there, though.
Let her rip, tater chip. No, I think all those things play into, but like okay, let's use Houston Woods, for example. They just posted that they just updated all their targets, right?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they just posted that they just put all new targets up and fresh targets. So
Good, because I'm gonna be out there soon.
yeah. So with that being said, because you're switching to a different type of site, but specifically out there, and I think even that place that we went in the spring to sight in our turkey guns,
Oh, Spring Valley.
yeah, the archery range, they have those elevated shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gives you the ability in those elevated shots to get more comfortable because, I mean, let's be honest, how many people, unless you're shooting like off your roof or shooting off something, I mean, like you don't necessarily have the ability to do elevated shots at home in the backyard or whatever. So to try to get comfortable, the only way you're going to get comfortable is taking those shots.
Yeah.
But you want to work your way up to it.
Oh.
Like I haven't done practice on the elevation because I maxed out and I start driving is what I call it, doing the 20, 30, 40 and making sure that I'm good on those. So like it would be no point in doing the elevation shots because I'm not going to do it as accurate as I would want to.
But I would think, but if you're hitting at 20, 30, 40, the only difference is your angle. So, I mean, I think you may surprise yourself at what you're capable of doing.
What
I
I
mean-
do is like I try to practice for everything, right? Like I got in a bad habit of always like standing and shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now like I try to do more like sitting, right? Because like there's times where you're gonna hunt a blind, right? If you feel like, man, I got a really good spot and I'm gonna primarily be in the ground, on the ground hunting, right? Like you need to practice those, right? So you grab your chair that you're going to hunt out of, right? If you're Tony, right? You got that little stool that you use when you ground hunt, right? And you set that down and you practice those shots, right? You practice like the deer comes in on the left-hand side. So then you're more off-centered there. Okay, the deer's coming right at you. How can you, turn yourself to be able to do it? Because I think practicing more like in real life, like situations will help too. Like I've seen guys that like hang a target above their target for like what you're saying with like the limb thing where it's like, all right, I got to drop the arrow below this target to hit this other target, right?
Mhm.
Then if you do hit the target, it's not the end of the world, but like it helps you with that. Okay, I got to be able to drop that arrow in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
So I guess
I
that's
mean,
to be mindful where your stand is for what angles you want to practice.
Well,
Yeah. Like for instance, the stand him and I hung, like as a right-handed shooter, my weak side is the right-hand side. So like most of the foliage and everything where you're really not going to be able to reach out, like I can shoot off the right if I need to, but like realistically, all the shots that I want as a right-handed shooter, I want to be either in front of me or ideally like off to the left side of me. And that's where a majority of where the deer will come through will be there or in front of me.
they won't.
No, they won't. Of course not. Like I already know that.
why would
However-
they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, and this kind of can segue into like the next thing is like the scrape that we put out is like right here where I could sit and shoot the scrape without an issue.
Well, I think
And the scrape's specifically angled to where when the deer come to it, they are broadside at the scrape.
I think that's kind of with all things, though. It goes back to like we were just talking about. So when you're doing stand locations or blind locations or even ground hunting, because you'll have spots that you know that you can like make your own ground blind based on what's there for stuff. I think all that comes into play, though. Like you have all that ready ahead of time. Like you're setting up mock scrapes because, again, you need them to be there long enough and catch their curiosity long enough to basically just take their attention off of you to be able to make that shot. You know what I mean? So when you're setting everything up, everything is feeding to what the end result is.
And the other thing too, right, is like you can have this grand plan of like, hey, this is going to be my access. It's going to be bulletproof. I'm going to be able to get in this stand. Deer's going to come out of here and I'm going to shoot this deer at 20 yards broadside and they're going to be clueless, right? However, we all know, right, you hunt long enough that's not going to be the case. To your point that you just made, right? Rut's going to be in full swing. You're planning on shooting that deer 20 yards in front of you. A doe's going to haul butt right behind you at 35 yards. And you're going to have, split second decision on if you can shoot that deer off to your weak side per se, right? Like, and that's where practicing those uncomfortable shots during the off season, I think, plays as much of a play into it as anything else. I know it's not the topic, but like, no matter how bulletproof you think your stand setup is, providing you're not backed up to, something you just physically can't shoot through, you're going to more than likely take a shot that you need to practice for.
Yeah. Jim Kaufman, what's happening, brother? I think that's the thing is like, that's why they call it hunting, is because of the fact that, like, no matter what you do or what farm you own or how many baits or how many this or how many that you have set up, like, ultimately at the end of the day, they're still wild animals. You don't have them, you're not taking them and tying them up on a string and just telling them to stand, you know what I mean? Like, it's still all got to play out the way you want it to play out in your head, which the reality is 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen that way.
Or it does, and they give you a shot at 10 yards and you pass it. And
then take a shot at 40.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just have to be prepared and be comfortable with your whole setup and everything and be able to execute the shot. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. So if you're an average Joe, get your bow, get out there, fling some arrows and stuff. I mean, you're going to have, I don't care who you are, everybody's missed, everybody's hit something. It happens and it's going to happen. But the more you practice, I mean, you'll feel a little more comfortable taking certain shots and everything like that. So, I mean, I don't care where your stand is, anything like that. You got to do the basics, at home. You got to shoot your arrows, make sure you can fling them things.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not practicing for when that opportunity comes, the opportunity to be successful, it goes down extremely, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I think it's also like, think about what you're going to be doing when you're hunting, right? Like, if you're a guy that wears a bino harness, practice shooting with that bino harness on.
Do it.
You know what I mean? Like, well, that's what I'm saying, right? But like,
but you can't.
Yeah. So you're not going to wear a bino.
I can, I guess, but I don't know, because I've tried. I was like, all right, I need to start wearing that because I have binos with me, but I have to reach up here to grab them or whatever. But it's, I don't know. It's like, dude, just get this out.
I will tell you, like, this year I'm like committed to wearing a bino harness with the rangefinder pack on it. So like, I am learning how to shoot with one on.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
and
I
like,
get it. It's just, I don't know. It drives me nuts. I'm going to get this thing off my freaking chest.
And like, I know that I'm going to probably be hunting out of a blind more than I have in the past. So I'm like, okay, I want to get comfortable with, like, this is the chair that I'm going to have in the blind. Okay, then this is how I need to, quote, swivel this chair in order to take this shot,
I get it.
And it's just, I mean, it's just practice.
Milk crate. I like milk crates.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you like logs too. So,
yeah.
I mean, but again, I guess all this, you say it's not really on topic, but it is, because all this plays back into when you're putting a stand in any location, no matter what farm you're hunting, no matter where you're hunting, like, location is everything, because your wind is not going to blow the same direction every day.
No.
So, I mean, I guess, when it comes to versatility, I mean, Jacob said you want to be a ghost at all times. I think the biggest thing about stand location is having that versatility, being able to access it from multiple ways, given whatever you're dealt, because again, it's not always going to be perfect. So you got to be able to play in and approach in how it's going to work. And really, I think that there's some people now, again, blue collar workers and average Joes, right? Like the weekend warriors, you only get so many weekends to hunt. Right. So those guys are not going to be able to stay out of the woods on that.
So that brings me to another thing. I'm assuming every state's got public ground. I'm assuming. So, I mean, we've done it. If the property you want to go hunt, if it's not good or it changes midday, heck with it. get out of that property, go hit some public.
Well, if you're going to screw something up, you might as well.
And public, you never know what all's going on. I mean, shoot, a couple of years ago, I go walking in 100 yards from my truck and boom, $2 right there. Like, what are we doing? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been preaching that for a couple of years now, I think. And I don't know. Public is very intriguing.
Well, public's intriguing because I think that sometimes people want the easiest and most convenient, right? Now, you just talked about 100 yards from the truck, but the reality is most times 100 yards from the truck is probably not.
Maybe. I don't know.
There's a lot of
now everybody's pushing in further. So what's going on?
Yeah.
Who knows? But again, that comes back to once you get into hunting and getting in the woods and, kind of a couple signs. You don't need to know them all, just a couple signs like, okay, deer coming through here or whatever. I'm going to set up here. And
So peace, is that a sign?
Sure. Their
Just kidding.
footprint.
Yeah.
So you find a couple signs, sit on it, see what happens. I mean, you never know. It works. It has worked. Just have fun with it. And my thing is, maybe it's because I'm getting old, but I just like being out there. I don't even care. I'll just sit on the ground on public or something and just chill.
Yeah.
Like, what's up, man? This is nice. And then 9 times out of 10, it's weird. Deer just kind of come to me. It's like, what's going on here?
Well, I think that goes back to like even just when we did this right during turkey season. It was still turkey season, and we were sitting down here doing the podcast, and then everybody's like, "What are we doing? Why aren't we turkey hunting?" Like, well, I'll just load it up, and I mean, we had 3 different trucks and just hit all these different spots and went different ways. And
I went exploring a little bit.
Yeah, John knew that was coming. That's why he walked away from you. You lost your better half that day.
Yeah. No. You guys went scouting for turkeys. I went scouting for deer.
Shoot.
Well,
He said
Priorities.
he had that look in his eye and I already knew what was going on.
Yeah, I seen it. I was like, all right, I already know what he's doing. I already know where he's going. I've already explored it with him once. He's wanting to go explore it again.
I don't know. But that's part of it.
Okay,
When
so
you are turkey hunting, you're seeing where the deer are. You're seeing different signs and everything. So you just take mental note of it and truck on. So at least, that was public where we all went. So you take mental notes and everything. And now you kind of have an idea if you need to pop out there.
Okay, so with that being said, so you talk about stand location, blind location, all that different stuff. How much time are you willing to invest into that versus what you're willing to invest hunting? What do you think a good ratio is?
I mean, like prepping versus hunting?
It depends.
Yeah, I guess.
Is it a brand new property or a property that I've been hunting for years? That's my thing. It's like we've talked about it a lot. I don't do much and I'm busy. That can sound like an excuse or whatever, but I'm busy, but I've been hunting the same property for
15 years.
I don't know how long.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I know where I'm going. I know where I'm sitting. Yeah. It can change. I found a couple spots I may want to try out, but it is what it is.
Just depends what you know about it.
Yeah.
If it's a new property, then I'm going to have to, with my schedule and everything, personally, I would have to probably get my cameras that are sitting in a box, get those out there, hang them, and see what's going on. I'd go out there, find a couple spots like, man, this kind of looks good. That kind of looks good. Get cameras up there, see what happens. Few weeks, if I'm not getting any movement or whatever, if I can get the time, get out there, move them again, and just kind of see what's going on. Look for trails and everything, beat down paths, especially like this time of year with the undergrowth and all that. Like you can see where deer are cutting through.
Oh, for sure.
So it all depends, and that all depends on, how many acres are you hunting and everything too. That's all going to depend on how much time you need to put in or whatever. So
I think
don't know.
I think you have a good point though, right? Like the property that you and I hunted together, right? Like I knew that property like the back of my hand. I could tell you when to go hunt it, where to go hunt, but that's from years of doing that, right? That you don't necessarily have to.
And it'll change some, but not much.
Yeah, nothing crazy, right? Like you are successful enough, right? Like deer get smart, right? And then it's okay, what other trail could they possibly be using to get to the same place? And, like certain times, and, the thermals and everything like that. Like it just, you get to know that property, right? But like, again, I think there's nothing wrong with going onto a property like yours, right? And it's like, hey, I'm going to try this out this year. I've always seen, I've seen deer here, but they're always heading this direction, right? Well, what's over there? What is over there, all right? Or they're always coming from this area. Okay, well, like, what am I missing over there? And I think the more intel you can get to it, right? Like you walk into a big area, we've all done it, right? It's a new property, you don't know, and you're like, crap, I'm in a bedding area, right? Well, now roughly, like it may not be the main bedding area, but it's that it is used for bedding, right? Like I've been hunting my small property and I just found out where like the doe bedding area is, right? And I'm like, okay, that makes sense because I always see rut activity in this specific spot, right? Ryan and I go out there to hang the stand. It's raining. There's 3 bucks in front of us right there, exactly where it was. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So it's just like, you get to know your property by having that intel, right? And sometimes you get that and and it doesn't change and you're able to kind of keep the same guideline of a plan. But like to your point, if it's a new property, you're going to have to figure out where those places are because okay, this is the only water on the property that you know of, right? And then you walk down that creek and it's like, wait a minute, here's all this deer sign. Okay, this is obviously where they're really getting the water at. Okay, that just put another, little bit of information that I need. Okay, it's hot out. I know they're going to probably be heading towards that water, right? So if the bedding's here and the water's here and the food's here, then I know I need to be somewhere in this area to intercept them.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where I'd say you get that intel of all that. And then you have, okay, how can I access that area? Because if I try to access it in the morning, my small property, I can't access it in the morning,
Oh, I get it.
like at all. So it's like, okay, do I pull the trigger and go in at 2 a.m. and sit for 4 or 5 hours just to be able to access it?
Depends what's running through there.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, or do I figure out a way to get in there, without spooking anything, right? Or, okay, maybe I can't access it on the west side of the property, but I can access it from the south side, right? Okay, well, how can I get in there and access it without making any noise?
Yeah.
And it's just,
there's a lot that goes into
Yeah.
it, but like you said, with time, trying to figure out how much time you invest into it, like if you have some downtime, get out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it boils down to.
What's up, Mr. Chris Ford? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, no, again, everything's an investment, right? No matter what you do. And it's a matter of whether it be time, it could be money, it could be items, it could be all sorts of things, right? Like
sweat equity.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different work that you're going to want to put in, and maybe on a new property, you start with, okay, this year I'm going to check this off the list, hang these couple things, see how it works. The following year you're going to start and you're going to do this, and then the year after that you're going to do that. And maybe you just take and chunk it right into different things and go from there. But
yeah, or new property, I'm not bashful with it. I'll just hunt on the ground, move a few times throughout the day or whatever, checking things out, and seeing if you do see deer or deer sign or whatever.
yeah,
I don't think that's a bad thing either, especially if, your time's limited and stuff. Just go hunt the ground and move around. Don't be running spot to spot, move slow and everything. But you can also be hunting and scouting at the same time, seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
And it pays, it pays off too. You'll find it's happened to me. You'll find a good spot. Dude, I'm just going to sit on this log here and boom, deer. There you go.
Yeah. No, it makes sense for sure. Again, and there may be deer that you're like, you kind of get into a spot that on a map doesn't look like what it would look like in person. And then it ends up being maybe one of your spots. We all like adventures, right?
Yep. Dora Explorer.
Dora the Explorer.
Certain times of the year.
Isn't this your favorite time?
No, this is my least favorite time.
Old Tennessee Johnny is not a midsummer, get out there in the middle of the day type of guy. He is late at night, early morning.
Yep.
As you can tell, the sunshine is hitting him just right during the day. You can see it on the screen. Johnny's going to take that
You
Tennessee.
got some sun.
I
Yeah,
did get some sun yesterday.
he's gonna turn it from Tennessee orange to little Tennessee red.
Yeah. You're going to beat up that Tennessee Johnny thing, aren't we?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's your new nickname going forward. I think we just need to.
Yeah.
Old
Just remember.
TJ.
Just remember. What goes around comes
Well,
around. I'm just saying.
I think I have payback for the nickname that I was in your phone, which we will not go through here. When you got that given back to you at Bass Pro when you handed your phone over. So I think I still have some time, plenty of time to get back for that nickname there, feller.
What was it?
I'll tell you after this.
Who's gonna break it to Hunter that you're a Tennessee fan now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter.
You know me, the biggest, what are they, volunteers
Yeah.
fan in the world. Yeah. You know me.
He shakes his head in
Yeah.
disappointment.
He
Yeah.
doesn't believe it for a second.
Yeah. I'm
Oh.
glad.
At least there's one of us that doesn't believe it. No, serious guys. I mean, like, with that being said, if you're out and messing at different properties and looking at stand locations, blind locations, I mean, mineral locations, all that stuff, you want to make sure that your access is everything, right? Because even for a refreshing mineral, you don't want to bump them off the bed. You don't want to bump them off the mineral, right? You want to make sure it's easy access for that. You want to make sure your stand gives you multiple access avenues, whether, wind direction plays into it, whether, you know what I mean? One way is a high ground, low ground. So you got all those different things that play into it. But I think really you just have to know your property.
Yeah. I mean, you even talk about like wind direction, right? Like I've hunted some properties that's
What?
like,
But he said, talking about average Joes, he said, I don't have a job. I'm broke. I
like
don't know what to tell you.
when you talk about like wind directions, right? Like I've hunted properties where like just because the wind's coming out of the west doesn't mean that it's going to push through your property that way.
Oh, no.
Right. I've hunted some where like you hunt a west wind, but it's really, as far as where you're hunting it, you might as well be hunting a south wind. Right. Like,
Right.
so it's knowing that aspect of it too. Right.
And then that all changes certain times of the year, I think,
Yeah.
too. I don't know. Some people say even during rut, if wind's not right, they're not going to hunt, whatever. I'm doing it. And I've had wind blowing right at deer and I've killed them. Well, the buck I shot last year was all over the place.
Yeah. He literally did
And
a circle
It
around
is what
you,
it
didn't he?
is, So I think you can get away with some stuff. But again, that's getting in the woods and knowing what's going on, what time of the year is, and everything like that. There's certain times, you can get away with a little something.
So do you think a blind helps with that or hurts that compared to a tree stand?
What, the wind stuff?
Well, your wind, right? So because I feel
I
like
don't know, because I'm a believer in, like, say, the Brown County spot where I hunt. I'm up in the air, and if the wind's coming across my face this way, it's blowing straight down to the water. And if there's a deer in the bottoms, like, pretty sure it's going to blow like over them. So there's a lot to think about. I don't know.
Well, no, I'm just saying in general. So, like, do you think a blind? So
I think
you're not pushing it through. Do you think a blind helps harbor that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, scent, I think it still blows. I mean, it's coming out, your scent's coming out of the windows and everything and just blowing across the ground.
Yeah.
I think height, I don't know. That's something to look into. I think if you're up high or whatever and taking a hill into advantage or whatever, like, you may get away with a little more. I mean, that's what I've noticed hunting like mid-hill. And if something's coming in the bottoms and I know the wind's blowing down there, like, dude, this isn't good. And they just keep on trucking and chilling, whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think that's something maybe we'll do a little bit more on, like, topos and kind of some of that stuff, maybe for the next time or whatever. But
like you're saying too, that all comes in like what scent control, how far are you taking your scent control to, which is a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother
That's
podcast.
literally a whole podcast on that.
So we won't get down that rabbit hole because, again, so my goal is I try to keep these podcasts somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour because it's enough for people to either listen on the way home and to and from work or on the way to one direction. You start getting any longer and we lose some of these average Joes. So with that being said, we will let John do his weekly roundup first because we don't want him to blame you for taking it.
Yeah. Get out, shoot your bow, make sure that you're all dialed in. Right, I know everyone's busy, but it makes those situations a lot easier if you're more comfortable with your equipment. So get out there and shoot your bow.
There you go. Chuck, what's happening?
Oh, also, if you need strings and cables, make sure that you get it into your bow shop and get it done now, because if you wait till September, you're probably not going to be able to get in before season starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get those in like now.
Yeah, you should have probably
Yesterday.
been in there like, last month.
Great strings and cables. Check out Pure Perfection strings and cables.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody sitting at this table has got a set of Pure Perfection.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Won't shoot anything else.
Helen, you're next.
Don't overcomplicate it. Know your limits, what you're comfortable with. You don't have to do what everybody else does, but as long as you're accurate with whatever you're shooting and where you're shooting, I think that's all that matters.
Touche.
Absolutely, Chuck. We are HRX Nation, buddy.
Tony.
Tony, you was next.
No, I'm getting excited. I know we're what is it? It's July, so we have
Less than 2 months.
yeah. So I mean,
Well, 2 months from today would be, you got just over 2 months.
yeah,
Because we're the end of September here. So if you're hunting in Kentucky, opening day in Kentucky, you're about 2 months out.
right.
Yeah, it's the 5th.
So
It's literally the 5th.
everything's speeding up. Start gearing up, getting your stuff all dialed in, get all your clothing and this and that ready to go. I know I'm guilty of it. I wait till like 2 nights before or whatever.
Yeah.
But start getting that stuff ready so then you're not scrambling, at the beginning of the season and everything. Make sure your bow's on, get out there, shoot. If you got a new bow, you need to get out there and shoot and figure it out. I'll have to go through that. And yeah, just practice, get ready, fire up some cameras and see what's going on. And hopefully you have a great season. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I know that 100%.
No, for sure. So I think with that being said, kind of following up everything these guys said. So you've heard us preach it really since we launched it. I mean, don't forget, for doing your mock scrape stuff, the VuDu has been pretty good as far as setting it on fire. I mean, like, it's keeping attention. I'm curious to see what it does as these bachelor groups get a little more territorial and start splitting up. Because right now, if you look on our website and even on our Facebook page, there's some big bucks hitting it. And when I say hitting it, they're kind of just nosing around, messing with it a little bit, and then walking off. But again, the whole point of scent control, the whole point of mock scrapes is just basically gaining their attention to shut them down enough to be able to make that shot. So check out VuDu, and then you got our Build the Bone. We'll continue to talk about that until we get into season. And yeah, we got a lot of good things, I think, going. And, you got your Average Joe Signature Series arrow. I know you're going to see some of those guys shooting that. Tennessee Johnny like that orange. He's got a set.
I got a set of what?
No, you already have a set of orange that was built for you by Jacob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. John's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
What? I'm
Wrap it up.
I am wrapping it up. Yeah.
Something.
Me too. Apparently. All right, y'all. We'll definitely appreciate you guys tuning in and putting up with our nonsense, but we couldn't do it without each and every one of you. So be sure to check out Hunting RX at www.huntingrx.com and make sure to check out all our social media handles. So till the next time, we'll see y'all.
I'm always up on time, down on my luck. Got a brand new payment on an old, worn out truck. Papa told me back when I was 9, someday this farm, it'll be all mine. Now I walk walk these woods with kids of my own. It's been 12 years since Daddy done passed on.